appreciate it. But welcome. So this is Club Connections. I'm going to ask that you mute your mics if you're not talking, just so we can make sure we can hear everyone. I'm going to turn my camera off, and Claire and Nathan are going to be kind of your hosts today. So my name is Avery. I'm the Student Engagement Coordinator for our Delaware campus and our regional learning centers. And you're going to get to meet everyone on this call. But if you have any questions, please put them in the chat or say them out loud. But we're excited to have you. So I will kick it over to you and Claire and Nathan.
Alrighty. Thank you, Avery. Hello, everyone. My name is Nathan Martin. I'm one of the student ambassadors here at Columbus State. And I'm joined by Claire. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Claire Bowman again, and I am a student ambassador here at Columbus State. This is my second year at Columbus State. After this, the spring semester of 2021, I'm going to go off to Ohio State for my degree in strategic communications. I'm super excited. I'm really nervous. I'm nervous about leaving Columbus State. Yeah, my graduation class only had 19 kids in it in high school. So I'm a little nervous to go off to Ohio State, but I'm excited.
Yeah, Columbus State is like kind of my home now. So leaving is going to be really sad because I really enjoy the environment here. So again, like Avery said, this is Club Connections. If you guys have any questions or anything you'd like us to answer, feel free to send them in chat and we will answer them to the best of our abilities here. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump right in. We got a couple clubs that are here on the call today. And I'm just going to go through and introduce all of them. So we've got Shakayla from the Black Student Union. We've got Mitch from Humanities. Then we have Shai and George from the Tabletop Gaming Club. And then we have Amy from Phi Theta Kappa. And then Josh from the Life Point Collegiate and Dr. Ferg from the STEM Club. So they're all here right now listening in, and they're going to be here to answer any questions that you guys may have as well. But to start, we're going to actually be asking them a couple questions just about their clubs. So to start out, just going through, Shakayla, do you want to sort of tell us a little bit about your club and why specifically you like it?
Well, I am the president of the Black Student Union. What I like about our club is, well, first of all, it's the Black Student Union. It's kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah.
We, connect students like myself to resources to help with our graduation rate, and because our graduation rate is significantly lower than other races. So we specifically connect each other with resources. We get to meet on campus, talk about the different difficulties we go through and face, and try to improve those. And that's what I like about our club, is because we aren't just focused on ourselves, but we get to connect with other clubs and other groups and get to learn from other, clubs and groups as well. And there's so many different connections that I've met, like, friends along the way and all that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Let's see. So going down to Mitch from Humanities, I got the same question for you as well. Just sort of tell us a little bit about your club and why you like it.
Well, actually, I'm currently the president of both Tabletop and Humanities. I've got my vice presidents here with me. Shai is my vice president from Humanities, and George is my vice president from Tabletop.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm Mitch. I use they, them. This is my first semester as president of both clubs. It's just been a lot of fun so far. It's been a great way to like meet people. I've made a lot of friends through both of them, and we just have a lot of fun. Honestly, what a lot of people say when they join Tabletop specifically is, I had been looking for people to play with. We run tabletop games, obviously, like
Mm.
D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, and a lot of people just say, I wanted people to play with, and I could never find anybody else. So yeah, that's really cool. I'll let both of them weigh in if they want to say anything too.
Okay, yeah, Shire, George, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, at least in terms of just like tabletop gaming in general, I think like that statement that Mitch made was pretty accurate. We do. I What we're trying to work on is like continue like expand like what the club is capable of doing in terms of like the realm of like tabletop gaming. But obviously, there's of course a couple of issues when trying to do that like over just the internet because I think a big thing about tabletop is that there's like my dog is going crazy. But what about? Okay, um, so yeah, I think while we were expecting a lot more people to join because you figure like, oh, we can do it online now. There isn't like a very set like structured meeting time anymore. More people just could come flood in because suddenly people's schedules are opening up. Because at least now we have like more like flex time. But we have been getting a few more people in, but it's not as much as we've been expecting. I was expecting pretty much like a flood of people, but we've been getting like a slow trickle of members, and of course that's good. But it's just not exactly the expected rate of growth. But I mean, of course, we're always going to be around.
Yeah.
I think right now we have a very dedicated group of people that we're just kind of slowly letting more and more just kind of into our community. I think that's good.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the nicest things about a club is that like college is just so stressful and stuff. So having a club is like a great way to sort of hang out with other students and stuff. So Amy, from the Phi Theta Kappa, I got that same question for you. Just tell us a little bit about your club and why you like it.
Sure. Well, I am the coordinator for Phi Theta Kappa, so I'm actually an employee of the college. The reason I'm here today instead of one of our officers is a little bit of a story, but Phi Theta Kappa, just in general, is an academic scholarship group that basically, in order to join Phi Theta Kappa, students need at least 12 credit hours with a GPA of 3.5 or higher. And so the purpose of our club is to help connect students at a certain academic level. They are creating projects. There's a college project that we can complete, also a project called the Hallmark Project, which is research-based and allows students to practice research skills as well as just kind of soft skills of running an office. I was actually, our previous coordinator retired at the end of December. I was hired in late February. And my first day of work was to be the day that everything shut down. So our club is in a little bit of we're kind of a starting over point between Becky, who was wonderful, who retired, and then me coming in. It's just kind of a great way. So the reason you're seeing me today instead of an officer is normally our officers are elected in February or March. Well, we all know what happened then. So we're currently right now in the process of electing officers. Anybody, again, who meets those criteria, there's a small fee to join, but then you're in for life. So it's a great way to get involved and meet other students who are like-minded and would like to participate in academic projects. So I'm super excited about being able to work with students and hopefully grow the organization and really grow our presence on campus a little bit more than we already are.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Josh from the LifePoint Collegiate Club I think he is not here at the moment. He might have gotten kicked out or something. I've not heard any word about him being back yet. So I'm going to jump over to Dr. Ferg from the STEM Club. Just the same question. Just tell us a little bit about your club and why you like it so much.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ferd, and I teach anatomy and pathophys over in the BPS department. And the STEM Club is open to anyone on campus who's interested in a career in STEM. So that's science, technology, mathematics, medicine, engineering, computer science, anything that you want to learn about. If you're interested in that, you can join our club. And our club meets twice a month on Fridays at 1. One meeting is like formal where we have a speaker that works in STEM-com. We've had people that, do the bomb experiments out at the West Jeff facility. We've had the Rocket Club from OSU come. We've had engineers that have worked on, they've traveled all over the world and they like recover disaster sites. So where things like blew up, they got to go in and like fix it. So we have all different types of speakers come in, and we really talk to our students about what they're interested in. And frankly, me being more a bio person, I have learned so much from these really cool engineers. I just love it. It exposes me to so much. And then our second meeting, every month is a social gathering now. We actually implemented that when life changed in the spring, and our members actually requested just having hangout time. So we've totally restructured this semester, and we just get together for an hour and chill out, and the students are actually inviting their favorite professors from all the different subjects to come and hang out with us. So last Friday we played Kahoot, and wow, let me tell you, some people are very competitive. Some of these professors, it was like a blood battle. But it's just a fun time, and another plus to STEM Club is we really work to help students advance in careers in STEM. So we have programs about mentorship. We do a lot of soft skill presentations. And inside the club itself, second year students mentor first year students. So we have that one-on-one student connection to really build a community, which, is kind of tough in virtual world, but
Yeah.
that's one of our goals, is to really help everybody feel like they've got someone there to go to when they need help.
That's awesome. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. If anybody has any questions, feel free to shoot them in the chat, and we will be answering them in just a little bit. Claire, would you like to go next?
Yep. All right. Thank you for that, Nathan. I just have to say, I'm sad that there's a pandemic, obviously, but I'm so thankful for the technology that we have been given to have all these wonderful opportunities to keep this club and all these clubs running. So with that being said, I will start off with Shakaila. What has been the most difficult for your club during COVID?
I would say the most difficult thing is not being able to meet in person. Like, we're used to meeting in person and getting to be in the courtyard and hanging out. And when we do like our welcome meeting, like we had ice cream socials and things like that. That's not exactly something you can do virtually, like where we can all come together, unless I guess you could go to Kroger's and all buy like ice cream and sit in front of the camera and eat, but it's not the same. So I think that's been the hardest thing. And then a lot of people are just stressed out, with school now and being virtual and stuff. And I feel like some people have a little less time for groups and stuff. Because of the added stress of always being on the computer and not being able to meet. Before, it was like a release to be able to meet in person and have the meetings in person, sit around, eat pizza and stuff and talk. And now it's like virtual. It just has a completely different feel. It doesn't feel as warm or like, that embracing feeling.
Yeah, I understand that. I would say I'm definitely an extrovert, so it's been very hard to hang out with everybody besides people in my house, and they're testing my patience for sure with everyone in my house. So yep, I will start with Mitch in the humanities. What's been the most difficult part for your club and for COVID?
Well, I mean, in tabletop, we adjusted pretty easily. There was a little bit of a bump at the beginning with us figuring out how we were going to schedule. As George said, we have a lot more flexibility now, though, so we can have club as many days as we want a week, and we have a lot more flexibility with when we can have meetings, have more than one thing running a day at different times. And we're lucky to have this technology that we have platforms that we can easily transfer onto. We've got a couple websites that we use that make it a lot easier. But humanities is the one that's really taken a hit since COVID, because we used to have weekly meetings, but it was mostly just like the staff that would come to those to plan what our big event was. Because humanities is usually we'd plan like field trips, like we'd go to like a museum or something like that, or we'd hosted movie nights, which are all big in-person gatherings, and that was our thing. So now we're kind of in a limbo trying to figure out, okay, how do we get people to want to be connected and come to a meeting, and what that can look like for our club. Yeah, that's our biggest difficulty right now.
Yeah, that would make sense. Shy and George, does you guys have anything to add on to that with the tabletop gaming?
Shy's still trying to get back in here. But yeah, I'll let George go.
So yeah, I'd say what Mitch said about there aren't really like that many like particular difficulties since we can be so much more flexible now, and that we do have websites to transfer onto. I'd say the closest thing we have to a difficulty is just getting out there and telling people that this stuff it isn't hard, it's flexible, communicating that to all the students that we even have a club in the first place, right? Like I think that's a big thing, because I think a lot of people, I mean, understandably they go to a place like C-State because they're here to go here part-time for credits over a few years, save money on college, so they might not necessarily be aware of the fact that there are clubs outside of seeing like pamphlets and flyers if they even bother to read them. So it's even harder now that we don't have a physical campus to at least try and advertise on, at least to try and get more members, because especially in a club like Tabletop, we always want more people, because the more, honestly, it's the more the merrier. The more games we can run on more days of the week, because having more people that have different schedules means that on more days we can actually do something. Because I know right now, we have a couple of games that are running right now, but a lot of them are really crowded. Because, yeah, Mitch just gave that look because they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We've had a group of people for a while, so
right.
New people coming in. We need new people that can run games, which we have been getting some people in who.
We got a couple of them, but right now, our current selection of club participants are really only available on certain times. So more people with more open schedules, or at least different schedules, would probably really help out the club in terms of like getting people to use it. So just getting out there, I think, is the most difficult thing. But once we get over that hurdle, it's just going to be great, honestly.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. The advertising thing is the most difficult thing that we have right now, with not being able to advertise on the campus and not being like in person. Because I found out about the club through a friend on Delaware Day. I wasn't even really aware that we had them, and that is a big struggle for humanities too, because we don't have a great way to reach anybody to get new members. And we really need some people with like new, fresh ideas for humanities, so we can make it into something that can help with the community.
Yeah. I'm so sorry to hear about all of this. It makes me so sad, but yeah. Well, I wish you the best of luck when we get onto campus. Hopefully a lot of people want to join stuff and just do something like board games. Now, Amy, what has been the most difficult part of COVID with you?
Well, the most difficult part is that was like day one for me. So here I am, an untrained, brand new employee, and trying to just, figure out how to log in Yeah. And then, so yeah, our organization is kind of interesting because our students join based on receiving an invitation. So we send out invitations to all students who meet our criteria. So we have many members on campus. So it's kind of the opposite problem that Mitch mentioned. We've got lots of members, but what we have to do is we have to pull them in and get them involved. It seems like, there's that 80-20 rule where 20% are doing. I would say it's closer maybe to 5 to 10% of our group that are doing anything. So what I would, hopefully we can, through this virtual community, try to encourage people to participate, to come in, to meet one another, because I think that, the virtual I'm trying to look at opportunities instead of the downsides, but just trying to reach more students, and be able, one of the big things I mentioned earlier was that we do this research project. In some ways, I could see the virtual environment being even a little bit better for that, because so many students are, maybe their class schedule is more flexible now that it's a remote learning situation. It might be easier to get together to do some of this research, and they don't have to physically plan to be in the same place. So I'm really crossing my fingers that once we get our officers elected here in the next few weeks, that we can hit the ground running and try to pull some more students in, because we're blessed. We have a physical space on campus. I have an office in Nestor Hall that I've never walked into, so yeah, I hope there aren't any plants in there. But yeah, hopefully we can, build our community virtually here and really get some students involved. And then when we are able to be back in person, we'll just really hit the ground running. So.
Yeah. Dr. Ferg, what has been the most difficult part for you?
Well, the big thing for STEM Club is that we normally do a ton of outreach. We have yearly projects where we go to elementary schools and have STEM days, and we go to high schools, and they've all been canceled. So my members are like, what do we do? This is what we've always done, and how do we approach it? And that's a big thing. A lot of the STEM Club, that's something that they hold really close to their heart, like passing on the experiments and doing fun stuff with younger generations. So trying to find alternatives is a challenge. I know some of the big community events that we are a part of are looking at doing maybe something in the spring, if at all possible, but it's all up in the air. And that's the one big thing the members are complaining about is, we have these service opportunities that we've always done. And they were looking at those also as a way to come together physically. That's the one thing, not having the face-to-face bonding experiences is a big thing. We're seeing attendance skyrocket at our meetings. Our very first meeting, we had a representative from counseling services come and talk about anxiety and dealing with the COVID world and virtual learning. And we had over 70 members show up for that meeting, which blew our minds because we have never had that. So it's kind of illustrating that people want to get together. It's just trying to, have it happen. I mean, one thing about STEM Club that is a little bit different than other clubs is there are scholarships that students win or are awarded to go to Columbus State, whereas part of the scholarship, they have to participate in STEM Club. So we have like about a core of 40 people that, that's a requirement, but the rest are all just additional students joining and helping out. So if we can get service going, and I'm real trying, that would make them feel better.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad everyone seems to have found some alternatives to the given situations. So now I'm going to pass it off to Nathan to ask another question.
All right. Thank you, Claire. We just Gina just joined in from the Student Paralegal Association. So welcome, Gina. I guess really quick, I'll just go ahead and ask you a couple of the questions that we've sort of already gone through, just so you're sort of caught up with us. So to start, just go ahead and tell us a little bit about your club, why you like it, and then also what might have been difficult for your club during like the virus pandemic.
Sorry, guys, getting myself situated here. So I am Gina. We also have Teresa, who is the president of our student association, and Lauren, who is our treasurer. And I think just, kind of along the lines of what everybody else said, it's just, it's kind of difficult getting together. And, we've a lot of we're very, service focused, student focused, and kind of getting together to have discussions about, what's working, if there are any questions about classes. Like, that's been very difficult to do virtually. So we have our first virtual meeting this Saturday, and hopefully it will go well, but I think we're just kind of struggling with the same things that everybody else is at this point.
Nice. Well, welcome. We're happy to have you. Let's see. Really quick, I want to jump back to Mitch from Humanities and Tabletop Gaming. We got this question from Susan. In the virtual environment, would you consider inviting students from campuses in addition to Delaware?
At least for, if I may, at least for Tabletop Club, we can definitely do that. What we use to play tabletop games online is it's actually like the systems we have in place are actually like really good. So we could actually have a part of our club actually be entirely online, even when we go back to physical campuses, so people can play tabletop games at any time of the week, or at least, or even just get together and just hang out. Because being nerds is generally a group activity, despite the introversion. So, I mean, yeah, we could totally reach out to other campuses and just do stuff and have it part of our club just be entirely online. If there's people that can't even come to campus, Delaware specifically, and they can still hang out with do other games online with people in the club. It's a really good that there are a lot of resources to play tabletop games online, because it means that we can really connect people.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. With humanities, I would agree we would definitely benefit from getting in people that only take classes online, maybe, and also people from other campuses, because, I mean, generally we're rather focused on bettering our campus and like connecting with our humanities majors on our campus. But right now we could definitely use some connection from maybe if they have a humanities club there, what ideas do you guys have? How have you been connecting with people? What direction have you taken your club?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we usually have a pretty big turnout of, it's not a requirement that you have to be a humanities major, which is like history, arts, English, etc. But we have a lot of people that usually come to our events and trying to connect out to them as well, those people that don't usually come to the regular meetings.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice. Shai, do you have anything to add to that?
I think we lost her again, unfortunately. She's having a lot of trouble staying connected.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the next question for everyone. So starting back at the top with Shakila, why should somebody join your club? What are some reasons that you think like people may benefit from joining your club in your community?
I have to keep remembering to unmute my mic. I would say because there's a lot of resources out there. Like when I first joined and started, like I didn't know about a lot of resources on campus. And we send out resources on a normal basis through email. So it's a lot of connections, that I found out about. Also, I made friends. I was the type of student, like, I definitely went on campus, I went to my classes, and I went home. But,
Yeah.
Joining, then it's like, okay, I met more people like myself and everything, and then found out, all the different types of people that was on campus. And like now I have friends that, they've graduated, but they're
Yeah.
helping me with, the next step in my life and starting like my career and stuff.
Mhm.
And you find out that there's so many different people on campus that have so many different talents. Like there was
Yeah.
so many people that I didn't know had like different kinds of like art, different knowledge about certain nonprofits and different businesses and like that stuff. We really don't talk about if you
Yeah.
just go to class and then go home. So being in a group that allowed me to find out like, oh, okay, there's more to everybody than just going to school.
Yeah, definitely. I especially really like what you mentioned about like resources and stuff, because I feel like resources is something that I don't know, people don't realize just how many resources are out there until like they actually really look for them. So thank you. Moving on to Mitch and George for humanities and tabletop gaming. What's a reason that you think somebody would be interested in, or why they should join your clubs?
Mitch, you want to go first?
I guess I could go first. Well, I mean, for humanities, if you are looking for a leadership position and if you're a creative person that wants to like get your ideas out there, definitely humanities is a great opportunity right now. And just to like meet like-minded people, meeting other humanities nerds is always a great thing. That's been the best part of both the clubs for me, is just finding other people that are geeks about the same things as me.
Mhm.
You can go ahead, George.
Big number one reason to join Tabletop Gaming Club, I think Mitch kind of hit the nail on the head with like just the idea of just being around with people that are at least to some degree like you. I think having some kind of like having a gathering of people from all different kinds of sorts of just people in general, just getting them all together and just for the one thing that you all love, or at least are some kind of fan of, is just really great. Like it just feels good to be with people. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a relief. I've noticed some people join and they're like, "Oh my god, I can talk about my nerd stuff." And all of you get it. You're not just gonna like stare at me like my parents do.
Yeah, I give you like that weird look.
Yeah. They're like, "Ooh, you're a dork." But now we're all dorks together. So that's a great community thing.
Yeah. All right. Moving down to Amy. What are some reasons that you think some people should join your club or be interested in doing so?
Yeah, well, for Phi Theta Kappa, we are a huge scholarship organization. So not only do we, I mean, I think I read recently that last year they gave away $90 million of money to our students nationwide, which is huge. Um, not only are Phi Theta Kappa members eligible for community college level scholarships, but there's many, many scholarships that are able then to be taken into the 4-year college world, and also even some workplace grants and things. Like we just gave a grant to somebody who was taking some type of pharmacy test, and she was able to have the fee covered for that because she was a Phi Theta Kappa member. So there's I think that's American Express membership has its privileges. The big one here is the scholarship opportunity, and also for our students who participate in the research projects. That's a great resume builder. If they're an officer, they are actually, we ask all of our officers to work in our office, our campus office, at least 2 hours a week. So they're getting skills, real life skills, that they're able to then take into, again, whether they choose to pursue a career or a 4-year degree or whatever it is, they are getting skills and hopefully scholarship money. So it's that's the big benefit. And Mitch, I'm just giggling at all of your, and George, my daughter is a huge D&D fan. She's turning 16 tomorrow, and she would love to join your tabletop party. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. Going on to Dr. Ferg from STEM Club. Same question for you. Why do you think somebody should join your club, or like what would they benefit from doing so?
One plus our club has is the networking opportunities. When we bring in a lot of these guest speakers, they just love it. They love seeing students. They love sharing their passion for science. They're always there to give advice on how to network, give them advice on like professional groups that they can join as students. We always make sure that two of our most important meetings every year are the transfer panel, where we bring back STEM Club alumni who have moved on to four-year colleges and have them come and talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, because they are very honest about what life is like after Columbus State. And we also have a panel where we focusing on some of the really hot topic majors. So we'll have a med major panel with like vets and dentists and anything health related. So we make sure that we look at what our students are interested in, and we try to give them every opportunity to meet professionals and learn how to be professionals in that field. And they get some really cool opportunities from it. We never know what's going to happen, but there's been some awesome things that our students have done. And I love them all. I've been a co-advisor for many years now, and it's my favorite thing to do on a Friday, to go and hang with the science nerds, because I needed those people when I was in college. So it's great to see that and help that with this group.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, building those connections and that network is really kind of all that matters once you get out of college. All right, and then going to Gina and Teresa or Lauren, if you guys have anything to add, you're welcome to. But from the Student Paralegal Association, why should somebody join your club, or like what could they benefit from doing so?
Yeah, hi, this is Teresa. Well, we're largely Columbus based. It seems like a lot of you guys are at Delaware campus, but I do believe all of the paralegal classes take place in Columbus. But if you're interested, since we're doing it virtually, at least for this first semester, probably all year. But I mean, if you're interested in the legal field at all, it's a great place to just get your toes wet and see if it's something you're interested in. It's one of those degrees that you can get a good job with a 2-year degree. You don't necessarily need to go on and get your 4-year. And I'm using paralegal studies as a springboard into law school, which is, because I do already have, a lot of us do have our 4-year degrees, and we're going back and getting certificates.
Okay.
But yeah, we're partnering with PACO, which is the Paralegal Association of Central Ohio, to have an event just concentrated on how to go about getting employed when everything is so up in the air and everything is virtual and work from home, and how are you going to train somebody when it's going to be virtual, that kind of thing. And I think that would be real helpful for people who are very concerned about employment and how to go about it right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, no, sorry. You're good. Go ahead.
No, nothing else.
Okay, nice. Do Gina or Laura, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I mean, I think Teresa, this is Gina. I think Teresa pretty much, said it all, and I think that we're all kind of struggling with finding a job and this is, things are taking a lot longer than they should be, and what are our internship opportunities or volunteer opportunities to get that experience. You can't it's very difficult to train somebody virtually. It's very difficult for us to get experience if there is nothing available. So I just think that it helps kind of bridge that gap as well. We're doing as much as we can in terms of, I'm the liaison with PACO, the Paralegal Association of Central Ohio. So, we're doing as much as we can to figure out what we can do virtually, but really, focusing on finding a job in these times and getting that experience that people are looking for. So I think that, it's legal specific, but I think it's helpful across the board as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you, everyone, for your answers. I'm going to turn it back over to Claire. We got one last answer for each of the clubs. So it's all yours, Claire.
You're on mute, Claire.
Okay, sorry about that, even though I was on mute. Okay, so my first question is for Shakaila again. How can students get connected with your club?
The best way to get connected with our club is through Cougar Connect or through our email, which is bsu@cscc.edu.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think if we can have all the clubs go ahead and put your club and then the email or the best way to connect. And while you guys are doing that, we're actually going to have Susan jump on, and she has a few things that she wants to share with us. Thanks, Shaquille.
Hi, everybody. This has really been great, and I want to say thank you. I work in the Student Engagement and Leadership Office on the Columbus campus, and I help to support all the clubs and organizations and affiliations across Columbus State. I dropped in the chat the top 8 reasons that benefit people in joining a club, and I invite you all to just capture that and share that out for any recruitment things that you're doing. The other thing is we have activities going on the rest of this week, and I'm going to drop that in as well, and I really hope that you can come and join us. Tomorrow we're doing diversity and inclusion connections. All of these will be at 12 o'clock. Thursday, well, I say that and then I'm going to say something different. Thursday from 11 to 2, we're having a virtual COA fair. Those of you that have been at the Columbus campus, we do the big resource fairs where we set up the tabling events. At Delaware, you do Delaware Day where you set up the tabling events. It's going to be kind of like that, except it's just going to have either a join or a contact button. And you can find that at the Cougar Connect events page. You'll be able to see it. So any students that come across that will be able to contact your club and say, hey, I'm interested in learning more information, or I'd really like to join. And those contacts will go directly to your primary contact. Later in this semester, we'll have a virtual fair where you'll actually be able to have online conversation live with students. But that will be after registration is over. And then Friday, the one that I really hope that everybody can come to is the Jackbox games. So for those of you, I think Christine shared earlier that it was kind of a bloodbath with the Kahoot. I would imagine that it's going to be like that with the Jackbox games. We're going to run it as I believe we're running it as a Teams live event. Student Engagement and Leadership has recently got a Steam account, and I wanted to let all of you know that we have Jackbox. I'm pretty sure we have I know we have 1 through 5. We may have 6 now, and we're working out a way that all clubs can access those games, so you can do those during your virtual meetings. It won't cost you anything. You'll be able to use your student engagement. The student engagement login and do that. So really, if you can, come from 12 to 1 on Friday. Let's have fun. We've done it as staff, and it is hysterical. So the other thing, let me drop a picture if I can. I'm going to try and grab it, and I'm sorry, I'm not. And I'm wondering if before we leave the conversation today, if we could get a picture like this, because it's called Together Mode on Teams, and I'd like to be able to share that out and do a news post to talk about all the great things that you're doing. So if you don't mind being on camera and you want to be part of the Together Mode before we leave, I think Avery will just say, okay, we're gonna capture a picture now. And I'd love for administration and staff and all the students at Columbus State to see all the great things that you're doing. If you have any questions regarding starting a club or registration, I'm live on chat on student engagement Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 2, and you can find that on our student engagement page, or others in our department are there. We're live chat every day from 11 to 2. Does anybody have any questions for me that you would like me to answer? Or, I just hope you can come to the event, especially the one on Friday.
I did have a question, Susan. Are you wanting just like the officers and people that are in the clubs in this picture, or do you want everyone on the call in the picture?
Let's just do everybody. I think it would be great.
All right. Well, I do want to say, I think we can, if everyone wants to start to turn on their camera and get their smiles ready, I really appreciate everyone who has been on this call. Hopefully this chat information you can pull if you're interested in a club and you want more information, you can follow these things that are in the chat. We are also going to do some follow-up graphics and stuff for people that missed it. But yeah, we're glad that you're on here. If you have any questions, I know that Dr. Cuneo mentioned that there's probably going to be Humanities Club started on our Columbus campus too. So in this virtual world, I say take a chance, join a club, because I think you can definitely connect across all of our locations. So we're excited about that. So, all right, Susan, do you know how to snap the pic?
I'm just doing an old print screen. That's how that's just been the way that I've been doing it. But I'm trying to if somebody is better at it, if you want to grab it, but I'm trying to do it. But I also have 2 screens going, so sometimes, hold on. Let's see if I can get it.
So we are recording, and the events are all on Career Connect. But I can send them. We can also send them out to everyone on this call as well, especially Friday, because I think it'd be fun if my team does Friday too. So I'm going to ask them about that.
If someone that does not have 2 screens going can try and capture the screen, I'm trying, but it's giving me a little bit of a hard way to go, and I'm capturing both of my screens. Hold on.
I took a couple screenshots earlier.
Oh, you did? Of all of us? Great.
I did.
Do you know how to switch the mode, Christine, to that one?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Do you see how in the chat that we're like in stadium seating?
It's all right. Everybody look up at the camera. I'm going to try and capture us one more time.
I'll do it.
Hold on.
Like and smile.
All right, let me see. Thanks for your patience with this. Sometimes it works great. One more time. I don't know. Usually if I click in the screen, I can grab it real quick. I'm going to take one more. Let's see. If not, I'll crop and we might be a little blurry, but that's okay.
That's okay.
I got it. So.
Oh no, Teresa just joined us.
Oh, well, hold on. I'll get another one.
Okay.
Hold on. All right. All right. Nope, didn't get her. Why is this not? Hold on. Sorry. Thanks. Technical difficulties, y'all. There we go. I think I got it. If I got it, I will. Yeah, I'll have to crop it, but it'll be all right. I'll get that, and then I can share it, or Avery can share it out, and everybody will be able to see the great work that you're doing.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everyone. We can definitely stop the recording, Christine, and if you have any questions or need anything,